Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts HD Dream Drop Distance playthrough. We are back with Riku, and it's time for us to enter Prankster's Paradise. Before we actually do that, it's time to, switch up our team a little bit, because obviously we had some team members that have fully leveled up and others that we don't need to now, and, since we're starting into a new area, it makes sense to sort of just see if we can shift up our team a little bit if we need to, if there are any bits and bobs that I want to start unlocking, etc. So there are actually a few Dream Eaters that I could actually make right now, so let's just probably go ahead and do it. I mean, I would really like to make, the Flabber Meow to, get once more, which would be lovely, but that's not going to happen. And actually, that doesn't happen until I'm pretty sure the post-game, so... It's the curse of the rarity of some of the fantasy items. So Malleable Fantasy is particularly rare, so I really struggled to get those, which it sucked, but hey, them's the breaks. So let's see, what musical are we going into now? Oh, we're going for Brad, so we're in a little bit of a Rocky Horror mood right now. That's totally fair. So what's Akuma Panda going to be called then? Am I going to call the panda Janet? That might be slightly not correct. I mean, to be fair, calling the Fin Fatale Brad's probably not quite correct either, but I mean, the names I'm attaching to these spirits, they're just completely nuts, and oh yes, okay, I'm calling the Kuma Panda Janet. Fair enough. I have to say, I am going to be booking to go see Rocky Horror again when that comes to Nottingham next year, because, I do love a good bit of Rocky Horror. It's a really fun show. It's crazy, but it's just so much fun, and yeah, I could just watch it. The stage show more than the film. The film, sort of, because it's a bit more B-movie horror type, it's a bit more of a harder watch. But the stage show, it's a lot kind of peppier. And also just doing a time warp with an entire audience is just an absolute delight that I would happily do any day of the week. And in fact, nearly probably have done, because, I mean, So, the last time it came round to Nottingham, I was working at the theatre that it was at, and I went to see it on the first night, and so obviously I was having a delightful time warping there, and then I actually worked a shift on it at the weekend that it was there, and even though I was working, I still time warped, because of course I did, because the time warp is just like one of those dances that you just do. It just... so perfect. So yeah, we're still mucking about with these. They do take a little bit of a while, I do apologise. They do disappear-ish, somewhat shortly from the playthrough. Definitely not going to be spending half so much time going forward, but whilst we are here with this now, we're still getting that. It's pretty much, once we're done with the second trip to Traverse Town, that's when it's all going to speed up a little bit, hopefully. And then I need to sit down and actually figure out how I'm going to edit together the post-game stuff. That would be helpful to do, I feel. But hey, that's pretty much all that sorted, so we're just going to set ourselves up and dive into Prankster's Paradise for what is actually probably one of the only instances where Sora and Riku, well, it's one of two instances, no, to like three instances where Sora and Riku get completely different versions of a world. The other examples being the penultimate world that we're going to deal with and the final worlds. Because in all the others, obviously, you're going round the same location. It's just sometimes it's slightly different areas, but most of the time it is pretty much the same. Whereas here, this is completely completely different areas, and it is great. I mean, I would say that I prefer Sora's version of Prankster's Paradise to Riku's, and that will become obvious as soon as we actually get into Riku's version of Prankster's Paradise. But, yeah, those bits always give me slight panic attacks. I'm just like, oh god, no, what am I doing? But it's all okay. Apart from the fact that I thought I could fly through that, and then I couldn't, and I really regretted it. But yes, surprisingly that was an A rank. I don't feel that really deserved an A rank, but I'll take it. But yes, here we are in Prankster's Paradise. Or, as is actually more accurate for Riku's trip, we're in Monstro. Ah, isn't it good to be back?
Pinocchio! Son! Where have you run off to?
Isn't that Geppetto? Then this must be...
So yes, the entirety of Riku's journey in Prankster's Paradise is inside a Monstro, and one thing that you will notice quite quickly is that this is definitely a much shorter world than what Sora gets. Sora's is much more expansive. This is very contained, and actually very linear, outside of a couple of larger rooms, but they're not, it's all just not that big, and to be honest, I am completely okay with that, because a bit of variety is not going to do anyone any harm whatsoever. And oh, special portal right off the bat. I don't think it's going to end too well for me, in that I'm pretty sure, yeah, there's no way in hell I'm going to succeed in this challenge. I'm fighting above water. They're just... It's not going to happen, because that's just not doing anything. And yeah, Riku, well, neither of them, if you're kind of trying to fight in water, you cannot do so, even though the enemies can. So it was just like, yeah, great. I've sort of got to jump into the water, jump out the water. It's not ideal. But whilst we're, you know, faffing about, it is nice to be back in Monstro, because this is actually a much nicer version of Monstro than what we have dealt with in the past. Like, all of the previous versions of Monstro have just been really, really dull and tedious and time-consuming. This one, I think because of the play style of Dream Drop Distance, it makes it much more bearable. And also the layout is just a lot less confusing, because you're not going in all sorts of different rooms trying to get through. You've just got single rooms. There is a confusing nature of kind of gravity that's going to be, well, sort of gravity that comes into play, but we'll deal with that when we deal with it.
What's the matter?
Huh? Goodness, who are you?
Riku.
Oh, Riku, you poor lad. Seems you was swallowed up by Monstro just like the rest of us. My name is Geppetto, and I'm looking for my son Pinocchio.
Pinocchio's gone missing?
I'm afraid so. After all my searching, I found him here in the whale, but then he ran off again to who knows where.
That sounds kind of familiar. Mr. Geppetto, let me go look for your son.
You would do that? Thank you. Are you sure?
Yeah, leave it to me.
Did you say you were really going to help us find Pinocchio?
Huh? Jiminy?
Huh? That's right. Name's Jiminy. Jiminy Cricket. But, shucks, have we met?
No, you know, never mind.
If you say so. Anyway, Pinocchio comes first.
Right. Any idea where he went?
Well, I'm almost certain he wandered off with a stranger.
Can you describe him?
I remember he was dressed in a black coat.
A black coat? He's back again. Thanks. Huh?
Well, I'm going with you. Pinocchio's gonna need his conscience, and that's where I come in.
So yeah, we've just got to go searching for Pinocchio. It's a pretty deja vu moment, really, because, you know, last time we were in Monstro we were looking for, well, every time we've been in Monstro we've been looking for Pinocchio after he's run off and been a little bit of a twit. But obviously there is the difference this time in the fact that we're searching for him as Riku rather than, you know, being a Sora and then finding him with Sora, and particularly the first instance where Riku had, Riku was playing with him when he was evil and sort of taken over by Ansem and being just a colossal dick, really. Being like, the puppet doesn't have a heart, when of course the puppet has a heart, and that's the whole point. But yeah, now this is something that I don't know whether I did bring up whilst we were here with Sora, but from the way the kind of worlds are structured, it seems like they expect you to go to Prankster's Paradise before you go to the grid. But when you actually look at the recommended levels, Prankster's Paradise has a much higher recommended level than the grid does. So it's a bit weird, really. I'm not quite sure why that is the case. But hey, we are where we are now, and we're just going to murder these Dream Eaters as we would do anyway, and have a lovely time. But yeah, this is sort of the key gimmick, I suppose, with Monstro, is that there's a couple of these really big sprawling areas, sort of like we did have the last time, but in this instance you are going to be hitting switches and that's going to sort of flip the area around, or it's going to change platform heights and stuff so you can get to different areas. And just in general, this is a lot more enjoyable to go through than anything sort of that we had to deal with in the previous games. And somehow miraculously I completed that challenge. I don't know how. Clearly 0 seconds counts as a second, so just by the skin of my teeth. But I will take that. So yeah, we will be doing quite a bit of exploring to make sure that we get everything, but it's going to go a lot quicker than Sora's version of Prankster's Paradise did. Because, I mean, we are going to basically, not quite 100%, but we're basically going to complete Riku's trip into Prankster's Paradise in this very part. So we are making some quick progress at this one, which I am always very appreciative of, because I don't know, I think it's more in the way that I edit things. My brain likes nice, consistent, complete narratives within parts. So it's like putting an entire chapter in a video, or putting an entire level in a video. And saying that I have to start splitting them up, my brain goes, no, I do not like this, what is going on here? And I don't know why. I suppose part of it might be laziness, which is hardly surprising, because obviously if it's just going based on chapters, it's a lot easier to edit. because then I'm not doing any sort of faffing about going, oh, where the hell do I cut this? How long do I want this part to be? I can just go, well, it's all going in one place, and that is fine. So, I suppose is that, but also, in terms of narrative sort of stuff, that's generally where I mostly prefer it, because it then ties everything off at the end of a part. Is why, while in Dream Drop Distance here, I have had to split things up as I've gone along, I have pretty much been able to consistently end with like the end of a cutscene or a drop. It's generally been those. There's been a few instances where that has not been the case, and it's very much more been running into a different room. That's happened on 1 or 2 occasions and probably will happen again. But that's just the way some of the worlds are structured. And also, I don't know what I was expecting to achieve with that, but hey, sometimes you try and do strange things when you're playing video games and you think they're excellent ideas and they're really not like that manoeuvre. That was pretty gosh darn terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the whole, I do very much more prefer this trip into Monstro than any that we've had previously. And it is pretty much entirely due to the openness of it. Like, the previous times we've been in Monstro, it's always been really claustrophobic. Because it's been really small rooms / lots and lots of interlocking corridors. And they're just not all that fun to explore. And because of the maze-like structure of it all, it just ended up getting more confusing than it was worth. Also, I just realised I have Kiraga, so I don't know why the hell I didn't have that equipped, because seriously, I don't know what I'm thinking sometimes, because it's just like, that's clearly the obvious thing to do, but then I don't follow through with it, and see, this first room's not that much of a pain to explore or get around. You've just got to sort of make sure you explore every nook and cranny, and you're pretty much okay. It's the next room, I believe, where you start to do a lot more of the flippy-floppy stuff. That is the key gimmick for Monstro, which makes sense. Also, can I just say how much I really like Rising Wing as a finish command? Like, well, a dual link command, I suppose, is more accurate. It's just really awesome to pull off, and just looks really cool. It sort of very much reminds me of Roxas's sort of limit break attack. So in 358 over 2 days, if you have the right chip panels in 358 over 2 days, if you have the right panel equipped, then once you go under a certain amount of health, pretty much it's your bar screen, when it goes into the yellow bit, I believe it is, that's when you're able to use a limit command, and it's basically just like a massive big I'm gonna murder everyone combo with a massive sort of laser beam spurting out at the end. That's what Rising Wind, whatever it is, reminds me of. But hey, look! It's Pinocchio!
Thank goodness. Are you all right? Riku and I looked for you everywhere.
Uh-huh. I'm just fine. Sorry, Jiminy. I messed up real bad. You and Father must have been so worried about me.
Why, Pinocchio? I think you just might be finally starting to learn.
Who are you? Me?
As a living breathe.
That was my dark side. I gave in to the darkness once, and ever since, it's chased me around in one form or another. The Seeker of Darkness who stole my body. A puppet replica of the shadows in my heart. And now, I'm facing me.
Your dark side?
Gee, Riku, don't you have a Jiminy like I do? He's my conscience. He's taught me all kinds of important stuff. Maybe you just need somebody to show you what's right and wrong.
Sure. You can't shoulder all your problems alone, you know. You must have somebody. A friend you can talk to?
Yeah. Actually, I do. That stupid grin he's always wearing. He's the best teacher I could ever have.
Gee whiz, I wish I had lots of good friends.
You will, Pinocchio. More than you can count.
What now? Is something in there? Pinocchio, Jiminy, you should head back. I'll see what's shaking things up.
Okay.
And there's our chronicle for Chain of Memories, obviously teaching us all about Repliku and all that jazz. And actually, obviously now that we've seen that, we now can... That sort of makes sense of some of the things that we've seen of Kingdom Hearts 3. Like we've seen an alternate version of Riku in some of the trailers. It's a challenge to know, is it Repliku? Because I'm pretty sure he died. Could it be Data Riku? Could it be Riku's dark side, as is sort of here? Honestly, God only knows at this point in time. Like, I just go with the Kingdom Hearts storyline at this moment, because I'm just like, I sometimes don't have the foggiest exactly what is going on or why it's occurring, but I'm loving every second of it, so you know what, I'll make do and just enjoy myself. And obviously, in the meantime, I'm going to murder all of these Dream Eaters in whatever gruesome way I can. Particularly, obviously, because I'm murdering them in the belly of a whale that is currently swimming through an ocean, but will undoubtedly, relatively soon, actually, start flying through space, because that is a thing that whales can do, apparently. And, okay, we're missing, I think it's 2 or 3 chests in this area, so that's not too bad. We can survive this, because I think one of them is just ahead. And then I think the other one will be sort of in the final bit of this room, probably, maybe, I hope. But yeah, you just need to attack these uvula type things, and that allows you to get to some of the chests. And actually, it allows us to get to both of the chests that I was missing, so that all just works out an absolute treat. And then there's a final chest through there, so I was right about there being one more. And it'll be quite easy to get to that one, because that's basically the last room, and then we're into sort of another one which is quite big, but it's the last room before the boss fight, so I can definitely live with that. So yeah, this is all we really need to do. As I said, Monstro for Riku is very short. Part of me wonders, well no, I know why they didn't call it Monstro and just kept it as Prankster's Paradise, because otherwise they would have had to come up with another title card, and that would have been ridiculous. And also you do want that sort of consistency, I suppose, in terms of how you're naming your worlds. And ooh, collision magnets. I don't think I'm going to make much use of that, but it's nice to have. And we're not doing too bad on the Dream Eaters front, actually. I mean, I'd like to have a few more spirits at this moment in time, but there are a lot of them. There are more spirits than there are nightmares, so it makes sense that we are lower in total on that. And annoyingly, we are not anywhere near... Well, we're close, but not close enough on some of those moments, and Joanne's just sort of still chilling out. I could probably get a few more things with Joanne, but it's fine at this point. So, here we are in this big, wide open space. It's gigantic, and you can't actually get out of it without switching things up. So, use this as an opportunity to murder loads of Dream Eaters, which is always delightful. Hope they don't give you as much grief as I seem to be getting from them, because I'm clearly terrible at taking out these particular enemies. And yeah, you basically run all the way to the end, flip the room upside down, and then you can start to explore a little bit more. There is a uvula type thing that is up there, you can just see on the platform, which I can't remember which way that flips the entire arena, but it's gonna do something. And yeah, I'm not quite feeling the Blizzara. Well, I might switch it back, but I need the drop me knots, because we're getting perilously low there. I don't know why I just... What are you doing? Just use the other drop me knot. I know, like, that's a pretty good level of drop gauge to have, but just like, just keep it all, that would be nice. Oh well, I guess I got a little bit reckless and just thought, you know what, I'm going to try and conserve some of my drop me knots, even though I can just buy them at any shop, and that's not really that much of a problem. I do make some weird decisions sometimes, I really do. But yeah, as I said, going through Monstro this time round, so much easier than he has ever been before, and it does just make this a much more enjoyable experience all round, because I mean it was always an interesting area, because I mean just look at sort of it's like all the colours of the arena and just the general fun of it all, but it was just the confusing nature of everything that just made it more of a pain than was absolutely necessary. But yes, in doing that, we basically give ourselves the way of getting pretty much the rest of the chests. I have the feeling that I may or may not end up missing one chest, and that's going to really, really annoy me. Might be two, we'll see. But yeah, just in general, I do like this a lot more than any other time that I've been in Monstro. I know that's basically all I've been saying for this part, but really it's all I can think about to say. Yeah, I believe the uvula thingy's down there, and I can't see any other chests, so hopefully I'm not being a complete and utter div. Yep, no, that all looks pretty clear to me. I could be entirely wrong, you know, but you can never be too cautious with these things. And to be fair, it's probably better to be cautious than not, because it's so easy to miss chests sometimes, and then you immediately regret it because you're just like, oh, but I wanted what was in the chest, and then you have to go back and get it, and yada 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 yada. But I will say we are going into what is going to be quite a fun fight, actually. Although we do have a little bit more exploration before that point. So we've got a chest here, in this little knob. And yeah, I'm gonna do another double check, see where we're at, and I'm missing a chest. Of course, I'm missing a chest. We'll go through towards the end. We'll see whether it's in that room there, because I think that's sort of the last room before the boss. So we'll see if we can find it there, and we'll go from there. Because I'm not sure whether I can quite be bothered to trawl all the way back through the arena, well, the area, to try and find one dinky chest. Obviously, I will go on and do it, but don't know if I can bother to do it right this instance. So please, can the final chest be in this little room here? Yes, it is! Oh, thank God for that. Because I was expecting it to be a bit more of a pain than that. I will happily take that. And it's time to see what was causing such a ruckus inside Monstro. So, just like Sora had Chill Clawbster, this is Char Clawbster. And basically its Japanese name is Mera Mera Lobsuta. So Mera Mera Lobster. Because Mera Mera is onomatopoeia in Japan for burning. So that's quite a nice little thing. And in general, I would say that for the most part, this fight is a bit easier than Chill Clawbster for the fact that he doesn't necessarily... because it's not in a circle, he does have a lot more trouble escaping you. But that said, there comes a point towards sort of the second half of the fight where his eyes go green and he starts just sort of freaking the hell out and zipping all over the shop. Because I could go up on the ceiling and he'll kind of just keep swiveling. The idea is that you hit the uvulas, follow him up onto the ceiling, and that's how you go through it. But that can be a bit of a nightmare. Thankfully, I got a very, very, very good cycle on him in getting 2 reality shifts and yeah, just general him not deciding he wanted to go onto the ceiling all that much in this instance. So, well, he's chosen to do it there, but I was a bit more stubborn, and we're just like, no, you come down to me, matey, if you want to get any damage in, and then yeah, just sort of went ham. And he didn't stand much of a chance. So yeah, I'll happily take that.
I thought I was only sent into the past, on the Destiny Islands. So why does it seem like time was rewound in this world too? Maybe it's like Master Yen Sid said. The world was freed from darkness, but is yet to wake from it. It's trapped in a never-ending dream.
Gee, I hope so is okay.
He'll be just fine as long as Riku's with him.
Huh? You don't think... No! Master Yen said...
Look! It's a raven!
Oh!
That raven is Maleficent's.
What's the got?
Why, that's Minnie's.
Well?
Huh?
Gorge, what's it say?
It's from Maleficent. She's kidnapped Minnie.
She took Queen Minnie!
The letter says for me to return to Disney Castle, or else.
Mickey, there is no time to waste.
Okay, you fellas stay here.
King Mickey, we're going with you!
Gosh, I guess you're right, pals. We friends need to stick together. Master Yen and Sid, we'll be back.
The timing is too perfect, too calculated. Maleficent must sense a change in the forces of darkness. A change like Xehanort.
So yes, it is all kicking off. Minnie's been kidnapped. Both Sora and Riku have completed the first round of worlds. And we can now return to Traverse Town for our second trip there. And it is going to be delightful. But before we go and do that, let's just... I can get Defender! I can get Defender! That's exactly what I did. We can also get that, so we can start to progress a little bit further with Phoebus. And let's see what we got with Joanne going on then. I kind of want the 150 first. Makes sense to go for that and then go later, but we'll switch over to Ocean's Raid. It's better on magic, weaker on strength. We'll live with that. And yes, it is basically time for us to drop and then head on in to Traverse Town Part 2. Let's go.